So as we have seen earlier, what is the logical effort? It is defined as the ratio of, actually two three definitions are there. The most this prominent definition which defines through which the calculations are done is the ratio of logic gate input, the ratio of logic gate input capacitance to that of inverter. Let's write complete inverter sized such that they have same drive strength. Okay, or you can say drive strength can also be said as output current. Okay, so it is the logical effort is measured by taking the ratio of the gate input capacitance to the ratio of the same ratio of the inverter capacitance if they are driving the same amount of current. Okay, it's just like we measure the potential with respect to ground. So here logical effort is measured with respect to inverter, and the strength should be matching to the inverter. Then only whatever analysis of done is of inverter, that can be mapped to the X gate. So for an inverter, it is always assumed that logical effort will be 1. Okay, so for the sake of simplicity, it is always assumed that logical effort of the inverter is 1. Okay, and a logical effort 1 means what? It is assuming it is an ideal inverter. And once the word comes ideal inverter, what is the thing? We should have the same VTH of N should be equals to mod of VTH of P, and another condition was your KR should be 1. Okay, this is manufacturing dependent, and KR equals to 1 means what? If you recall your KR, the KR was given by Kn by Kp. So Kr was given by Kn by Kp, and this Kn is nothing but mu n Cox W by L of NMOS by mu P Cox W by L of P. So assuming forcing Kr equals to 1 and Cox will be same, so we know the mobility. So let us assume that mobility of NMOS is twice the mobility of PMOS. Generally it holds true, but nowadays somewhat 1.5 factor comes. So let's assume if this is the thing and length is same means both for NMOS and PMOS. Okay, if this ratio is maintained, or if these conditions are maintained, so because minimum size length if we use, then we can accommodate more number of transistor on a single chip. So if this thing we maintain, what we get the relation that mu n by mu p is equals to W by L of P by W by L of N. Okay, and since L is same, so I can write here WP by WN, and then we can substitute mu n and mu p relation. Here it will come 2, and it will be WP by WN. So from here what we deduce that the channel and the width of the PMOS should be twice the width of the NMOS. So we come to this conclusion that if mobility is holding this relation, and if we are making our inverter to the lowest minimum size, then we have to maintain this dimension ratio. So okay, so let's I maintain this one as a 2, and this is 2 and 1. Okay, V in is there, V out is there, and this is VDD. So this is an inverter with 2 and 1 dimension is there. Okay, now what I will do, I will elaborate this one. Since we know that these two are working in linear modes whenever we are taking any logic 0 or logic 1, we can say strong logic 0 or strong logic 1. So I will redraw this figure again here, and in PMOS, let's say a resistance is formed by this PMOS, that is your pull-up resistance RPU. Okay, and here is the ideal switch. Okay, when this MOSFET is on, it is working in linear mode and it is acting like a switch. So I have divided in two parts. RPU is pull-up network, that is pull-up network resistance offered by this PMOS, and ideal switch Then from here, for the NMOS also, I will do the same thing. Here the ideal switch NMOS is there, and it will offer a pull down network, and it will be connected to ground. So from where Vin is there, so from here to here, Vin is applied, and from here, V out is taken out. And let's say here C out is there. Okay. So this can be an elaborated diagram of this one. Now comes where will be other two parasitic captions. I will make an equivalent like here CP is there, and at this place from this to this node Cin will be formed. Okay, so if I cover this inverter like this one, this to one minute. This is our pull down network. Okay, so from here to here, this one, this is inverter actually. Okay, so what is the outside what we see is only C out is there. So C out is nothing but your load. This is nothing but your CL, the load capacitance, and internally formed is your CP, that is parasitic capacitance, and Cin is the equivalent capacitance of the inverter. Now when I scaling, when I scale by S, let's say S is a factor by which I scale the dimension. So what will happen in that case? VDD, whether any change should be there in this, that we'll see here. So this is a switch, an ideal switch. Here also it is an ideal switch. Here pull down network will be there, and here the input capacitance will be there, and here V out, and here output capacitance, and one here parasitic capacitance. So what should be the value with respect to S? So when I scale with S, so now scaling with S means let's scale W by L, okay, by S. Okay, so when I scale by S and I know what is the resistance dependency on W by L, resistance is inversely proportional to W by L. So if I scale this one by S, so what will happen? Resistance will also scale by factor of S. This means this R pull up will be now R pull up divided by S. What will happen to R pull down? R pull down will be also divided by S. Okay, so this is the resistance case. Now what about the capacitance? So at the same time we know at this input capacitance CGS, let's say CGS is there, that is proportional to W, L and Cox. So it is proportional to W. So when I scale by H, so what will happen? CG, whatever the C in will be there, that will get a factor of S with respect to the earlier value. So S into C will be there. So here instead of C in, it will be S into C in, and here it is CP. So instead of CP, it will be S into CP. And what about the output? So output is the external to the load, or external acting as external load. So nothing will happen to this one because we are scaling the dimension of the MOSFET. Due to scaling of the dimension of the MOSFET, there is a scaling of the resistance and there is a scaling of the capacitance. And which capacitance? The associated device capacitance. So device capacitance is your input capacitance and the parasitic capacitance, whereas C out will be retained, no problem will be there. But at the same time, it is said that parasitic effect has the parasitic delay does not depend upon the invert size of the MOSFET, but here capacitance is scaled. So this is the scaling of parasitic capacitance, not the parasitic delay. When we will compute parasitic delay, there you will see no effect on size will come here. So till this part is clear. So when I scale by S, this will be the scenario. Now I will plot the curve for this one. So this is C out by C in normalized value with respect to C in I am plotting. This is a time constant tau. And let's say here to here is your parasitic delay. Okay, some amount of parasitic will be there. After that, the device will be go to the working condition and it will give the time. What is the required time for switching on and off? So this parasitic, let's say it is uh, R RP. Let's say RP is the parasitic resistance and CP is the parasitic capacitance. After that, it is working in linear mode. So somewhat this type of curve will come and the delay will be, let's say, R and C out. The equivalent R whatever is seen here and C out is here, and we are standing, let's say, at S point here. Okay, not S, let's say X is here. This is X point. Here we have computed that this is the delay introduced by the gate. Now when I scale by S, this graph, what will happen to this graph will be, okay, whether any change in parasitic will come. So when we check the parasitic, it is RP into CP. Now I know when I scale the dimension of the MOSFET by S, what will happen? The resistance get a factor of divide by S and a capacitance get a multiple factor of S. So it will be equals to RP by S and it will be S into CP. So what equivalent will be getting? RP into CP. So no change will be seen by the scaling of the MOSFET. So this means the parasitic value will be as it is, that is this one. Okay, so this parasitic has no effect, it is RP into CP. Okay, so that's why it is said that parasitic delay will not depend upon the sizing of the inverter. Means once the inverter is sized, after that if the scaling is done by the user, there will be no effect on parasitic. Parasitics can be assumed whatever given is the in the data sheet. Now from here, what will happen to this factor X? So when I see X, it is given by R into C out, and I know that if this is given by R into C out, this one, and R is R by S and C out will retain as it is. So what will happen? It will get a divide by factor of S. So if this was your X point, now what will happen? Due to scaling, this X point will move to the downward side and it will be somewhere here, X dash. So what happened here? We have reduced the switching time, okay, in order to increase the speed of the circuit. Okay, so what the conclusion come from here? The conclusion comes there is no effect on parasitic, rather there is a effect on the switching speed, and which is function of the output capacitance. Okay, and this factor gives me the electrical effort. Here it is measured electrical effort. This is the parasitic delay and this is the gate delay, a part of gate delay, and the total sum will be the delay of the gate. So we can define D is equals to F plus G, sorry, F plus P. Okay, where P is your parasitic that we have seen, it will be always same, and F is your, if you recall, it was your effort delay. That was your effort delay. And what was your F? This F was further written as F equals to, it was G into H, where G was your logical effort and H was your electrical effort. Electrical effort, it is ratio of the output capacitance to the, what was it was, H was output capacitance to the input capacitance, and logical effort was given by input capacitance to the C inverter inverter size capacitance. Okay, so this was the thing. Now we will compute the delay, how these are used to calculate the delay. So till here, any problem, anyone of you, so that we can move to the exercise part. Okay, nothing is there. So now coming to the problem. So let's say I have taken an inverter, dimensions are 2 and 1. Okay, based on the mobility concept we have taken here 2 and 1, and it is said that for an inverter C in V is CINV is the inverter of capacitance, that is CINV is always taken as 3. So let me say how it is V out. Now this is W by L ratio is that is given 2 and it is 1. So what we is the input capacitance? So input capacitance is nothing but if C is the unit of capacitance we are taking. So total capacitance seen by this one will be this CGS and this CGS both will come in parallel. Parallel means it will add up. So here we'll get here 3C, and what will happen to the output also? Output also it will be sum of 2 plus 1, that is 3C. Okay, so what we have got here, that C in is 3C, and the given C inverter, it is given in the question that assume the ideal size inverter is given by whose capacitance is the standardized capacitance is 3C. So 3C is the inverter capacitance given in the data sheet. So we have to compute, this is some inverter which have made the dimension 2 and 1. So what will be the logical effort of this one? So this one will be G will be equals to C in by C INV. So C in is here 3C and this is 3C. So we get here 1. And what is your this one? Electrical effort H. H will be C out by C in. So C out is what? Here nothing output load is there. So whatever here no load is attached. So this means whatever C in parasitic is nothing but the load itself. So I can write here 3C and C in is 3C. So electrical effort is also 1 here. Okay, and the parasitic will always return here. Parasitic capacitance will be also 3C. So from here if we compute the delay, so delay is given by P plus GH. This GH is nothing but F. So what is P here? So parasitic delay for an inverter is always 1, or it is equal to the input number of inputs. So for inverter it is single input, so it will be always 1 plus G is 1 and H is 1. So total delay is here 2. Okay, and then whatever the unit is 2 tau, if it is in terms of tau then you can write here tau is 2. Okay, but G and H has unitless quantity, so it is given by factor of 1 and 1. Now in the same, if I change this one, let's say here, okay, we'll take another problem, that's be better. Second problem I will take here. So I will draw here 2 input. You'd say me which gate I am drawing, then I will solve that one. This is A, this is B. CMOS is there, so it is also A, it is also B. This is VDD, and this is ground, and this is V out. Okay, now the question is determine the logical effort for this NAND gate. So I given the answer. So what is this gate? This is NAND gate. So you have to find the logical effort G of A and G of B. Let's say this is the question, logical effort of G of A and G of B. What will be the value? So now I know in order to calculate G, we should know what is C in and what is C I N V. What is C in and C I N V. So in the question there should be the information of with what respect we have to calculate the logical effort. Since nothing is given, so I can assume here that CINV is nothing but 3. Okay, so we have to compute the logical effort of this NAND gate with respect to an inverter sized with respect to an inverter with having value CINV of 3. So what should be the electrical effort of A and B inputs? So for this we should know what are the dimensions of these MOSFETs. So with what respect we are doing? We are doing with respect to an inverter whose dimensions are 2 and 1. ठीक है? We are doing with respect to 2 and 1. So what should be the dimension of here at these places? Now the solution is, it should be, the driving strength should be identical to that of inverter. This means if this is discharging and let's say this NMOS is offering a resistance of R, so this complete path should offer a resistance of R. If this discharging is offering, if this charging is offering a resistance of R1, so this path should offer a resistance of R1. So this should be the necessary condition to be satisfied. Fine. Now, in order to satisfy the condition, I know once the MOSFET, the same MOSFET I have used here, okay, and we know the MOSFET is operating in linear region. So definitely these transistors will offer a resistance. So we'll derive a relation with respect to resistance. What should be the value of W by L? So we know R is proportional to 1 by W by L. So using this relation, I will say here R of, let's say R of X gate divided by R of inverter will be equals to W by L of, since it is inversely, so at the top it will come inverter and at the bottom it will come W by L of X. Fine. So W by L of inverter means it will give me the information of CINV. So what I will write here, W by L of X will be equals to R inverter by R of X into W by L of inverter. ठीक है? So this relation we will always use to compute what should be the dimension. It will give me easier analysis. Now look here. So this, if we see the VDD here, if we see the discharging path, so the ratio of 1, W by L ratio of 1 is giving, let's say it is giving a R. It is offering a R resistance through which the discharging is happening. And if we see the same MOSFET here and the same signal strength is applied here, so this will give me 1 R value and this will give me 1 R value. So what is the total discharging path consist of? What will happen to this total resistance? It will get added up or it is in the parallel combination. कौन से फॉर्म में है ये, सीरीज या पैरेलल? Yes. I mean, simple two resistance are there in the path. It is series or parallel?
Series.
Series, yeah, good. It is in series. So total resistance will be 2R. But requirement was of only R. And here 2R is coming. So what should be the device dimension such that it will satisfy the relation of pull down condition? So we'll see this one. So from here we have to see W by L of X. R inverter is offering, let's say R, and this RS is becoming 2R. So this Rx is becoming 2R. So how it will be equal to inverter? When I will get a divide by factor of 2, then only I can make it equal to the inverter discharging path. The resistance will be equal to the inverter discharging path. तो क्या यहाँ पे क्या हो जाएगा? We'll get here R by 2. Okay, and into W by L of inverter. So what it will give me? 2 into W by L of inverter. So W by L of X will become twice the W by L ratio of inverter. So what should be the dimension of now these two MOSFETs? So these two MOSFETs should be maintain the ratio of 2 and 2. Okay. Even if you see these are the series combination, 2 and 2 will come in series. Fine. So how we computed? Have you got this one? Now coming to the pull up network. Now in the pull up network, it is taking a device dimension of 2. The ratio is 2 and let's say it is offering an RP resistance. And here what we see, it is also an offering RP resistance. It will also offer RP resistance, and this RP is function of 2. When the W by L is 2, then only RPL will come, and a single path is one MOSFET is there. So here also in PMOS, what I see, through a single MOSFET I can do the charging case. Either it can go through A or it can go through B. So both the options are available. Through any path it can easily get charged up. So this means the pull up network of the NAND gate is identical to the pull up network of the inverter side. So what should be the dimension of the top MOSFETs? क्योंकि सेम है, the same strength it will offer both, so it will happen 2 and 2. So this is done the sizing of the NAND gate with respect to an inverter. Okay, so once the sizing is done, now you can easily compute the capacitance. So what is the capacitance offered by the A path, by the A and the B? Now this A and this A can be sorted together. Okay, so when two are sorted together, so what the capacitance will be offered here will be 2C, and this will offer 2C. So total capacitance seen at the node A will be how much? 2 plus 2 is 4C. What about the B case? So B case also it can be sorted together, and from here we'll get a how much capacitance here? 4C, 2 plus 2. Now any one of you can me tell me what should be the CP value here? How much it should be? Parallel capacitance add up. Now we are knowing the dimensions. Can you identify what should be the value of CP? कोई भी? Look, what are the associated sizes? Here 2 is there, here also 2 is there, here also 2 is there. This 2 is not coming in direct contact with the output terminal. So how many dimensions are there? 2 plus 2 plus 2. So total what should be the value here now? 6C. ठीक है? The total seen capacitance at the output will be here 6C. So once you know the capacitance at the associated nodes, now I can easily compute the logical effort and the delays. So first, what will be the logical effort of A and G of B? So G of A says what is the input capacitance, semi, and what will be the with what respect you have done. So I have done with respect to 3C, and what is the input capacitance? What I have seen for A case is 4C. So I will place here 4C. So what I will get the ratio of 4 by 3. So this is G of A. What will be G of B? Again, we have seen here with respect to 3C we have done, and what input capacitance I have the node B I have seen is 4C. So I will write here 4C. So I will get the ratio of 4 by 3. Okay. And what will be the parasitic delay for this one? P. P will be Cp by Cinv. So what is Cp value here? 6C we have got. So 6C by inverter is 3C. So how it will be? 2. So this is this one. Fine. Now we'll go to the another gate, 2 input NOR gate, and I wish you should answer this question. 2 input NOR gate. So NOR gate में क्या होगा? All will change in. This is your output, and let's say it is A, B, here A, here B. ठीक है? So we are sizing this NOR gate with respect to an inverter whose CINV is 3C, or whose dimensions who is given by 2 by 1. This is 2 by 1 out. Shorted single input is there. So now this A and this A can be sorted together, this B and this B can be sorted together. So what is seen here at the A node, how much, at the B node how much, and at the output how much? Yes, please, any one of you. First you size the dimension. What should be the dimension in the pull down network? Look here, pull down network is taking place through only one MOSFET. Here pull down is taking place through whether both the MOSFETs will be required to discharge or any one MOSFET is enough. इसको डिस्चार्ज करने के लिए सिंगल MOSFET is enough or both the MOSFETs should turn on?
Single MOSFET.
Okay, so if single MOSFET turn on, then this means I can maintain the same transistor ratio here. So it will be 1 and 1. Okay, all of you look at these calculations because this will carry direct in logical effort, only computation is there. So this will carry, it's a mathematical part, so you can get full marks if you solve correctly. Okay, so here you will get 1 and 1. And what about the charging? So here the charging is taking place through single MOSFET whose dimension is given by 2 W by L. So here it is taking place by 2 MOSFETs. Okay, so 2 MOSFETs are there. This means 2 resistance will be seen and both resistance will be added up. So 2 plus 2. So how much it should be? See, whenever such questions are there, just if it is in like here two resistance will be there. So equivalent resistance will be 2 into whatever RP is there, and it is, and this MOSFET is given RP. So 1 RP means 2. So 2 RP means 2 into 2 is nothing but 4. तो यहाँ पे 4 आ जाएगा. ठीक है. If it is giving only Rn, so single MOSFET is Rn, here also single MOSFET, so Rn is there. Okay. Similarly, in the earlier problem, here single MOSFET was giving R, and here we are getting equivalent resistance of 2R. So 1R is corresponding to 1, so 2R will correspond to 2. So 2 is the dimension. So this way you can very quickly do. Now tell me the capacitance value. What about the A input? Total input capacitance at 8 node will be how much? So 4 plus 1. So total is 5C. ठीक है. B, what about B? 4 plus 1, that is 5C. And what about the output? At the output, how many nodes, how many capacitance are associated? Due to this 4, due to this 1, and due to this 1. So total is 4 plus 1, that is 6C. Okay, because capacitance parallel, it will get added up. So we got all the capacitance value. Now I can easily compute G. So what will be G of A here? What will be G of A? Input capacitance, that is 5C by 3C. So it will be 5 by 3. What about B? It will be input capacitance 5C divided by 3C. That is 5 by 3. And what will the P? The CP by CINV. So what is CP here? 6 by 3. So it will give me 2. Okay. Now just the extension of this one. If 3 input NOR gate is there, so definitely there will be 3 inputs A, B and C. So without drawing the diagram, can you tell me what should be the GA? In the mind you can do calculations. Now I have done 3 input. 3 input means what will happen here? An extra MOS will be created. 3 input क्या हो जाएगा मतलब? A C input will be there. So from here C will come and top में भी क्या हो जाएगा? C will come here and VDD will come here. Now what should be the dimensions now? At the pull down network, what should be the dimensions?
6, 6,
फटाफट
6.
किसका? पुल डाउन या पुल अप
पुल
का?
पुल अप का.
2 2 4 2 6. ठीक है. So it will be 6 6 6 because 3 times हो गया. 3R है and 1R is 2, so 3R means 6. And what about the bottom one?
1 1 ही रहेगा.
1 रहेगा. So we got here G of A क्या हो जाएगा यहाँ टोटल? ऊपर से 6 आया, नीचे से 1 आया. So total we got 6C plus 1C divided by 3C. So we got here 7 by 3. So this will be the same for all. And what about the CP? CP पे यहाँ क्या आ जाएगा वैल्यू?
9.
9C. So what should be the P here now? 9C divided by 3C, that will be 3. ठीक है. Now very fast can you do for 3 input NAND gate? I will show you the NAND gate architecture. Now 3 input is there. So pull up में क्या आ जाएगा? So let me draw here. 3 input is there. यहाँ एक MOSFET आ जाएगा. Sorry, PMOS. And at the bottom I will get one NMOS. C input के साथ. C input. What should be the pull up network? यहाँ क्या आना चाहिए dimension?
2.
2. And what about the pull down network?
6.
So कितना आना चाहिए?
6.
6. See, in the pull down network, 1R is corresponding to W by L of 1. So how many resistance is there? 1R, 2R and 3R. Total 3R is there. Equivalent resistance seen from the output to ground is how much? 3R.
3, 3, 3, 3.
So everyone will be 3 here. So this will be the dimension. So G of A कितना आ जाएगा? 2 plus 3. 2 plus 3 is 5. So for 3 input it will be 5 by. तो 3 इनपुट के लिए G ऑफ A कितना हो जाएगा? ऊपर से आया 3, नीचे से आया 3C, ऊपर से आया 2C, डिवाइड बाय टोटल 3C is there. So how much you get? 5 by 3. And what about the CP value? What should be the here value? Now you recall the architecture in mind. From the दिखाऊं आर्किटेक्चर? देखो ना, बोलो यहाँ CP की वैल्यू क्या आनी चाहिए? From the output, how many capstans are associated? This one, and this one. So 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6, and bottom single MOSFET, because these two are not coming in direct contact. So 3. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3. So how much it is? 9C. So it will be 9C divided by 3C, that is 3. Okay. So based on this, the observation table is made that okay, CP is 3. So what should be the parasitic delay? Parasitic, sorry, this is parasitic delay itself. No, sorry, P, not CP, it is P. So it is 3. So based on this, I can make this table gate and number of inputs. So if I write here inverter and 1 2 3 4, let's say N is there. So inverter has how many input? 1 input. 2 हो नहीं सकता है, 3 not possible, 4 also not possible, so N is not possible, no, nothing to say. So inverter, this one is there. So for this one, number of input, what should be the logical effort? This is logical effort. So logical effort of inverter is 1. If I say logical effort of NAND gate, so NAND gate single input is not possible because minimum 2 inputs are required. So for 2 input, what was the logical effort of NAND gate? we have done earlier. दिखाना पड़ेगा. Look here, it was 4 by 3. This you can do without drawing the diagram, just in the mind. So it is 4 by 3. If we go for 3 input, we have seen it is 5 by 3. Similarly for NOR gate, if we are going for 2, it was 5 by 3. If we are going for 3, it is 7 by 3. Okay. If we go for 4, we will see here it will be 6 by 3. And for NOR, it will be 9 by 3. So this can be expanded in an n number of input, because it can take n number of input. So I can elaborate this one as a n plus 2 divided by 3. And this one can be expanded as 2n plus 1 divided by 3. Okay. So if we put 2 input, then we'll get the direct logical effort. So these are the standard formulas to calculate logical effort of NAND or NOR gate. Okay. Similarly, if we go for XOR gate, so XOR gate also minimum 2 inputs is required. So you will get here 4, 4. If we go for 3 input, so 3 possible cases you will get. If we go for 4 input, then 4 possible cases. So 4. And for, so let's see here, if it is not changing in a consistent manner. So we cannot say any n number of input formula. So when we design any XOR gate more than 4, like 5 or 6 input, then we have to compute separately. There is no standard formula for direct calculation. Similarly, for the parasitic, we have seen the observations. So what was the observation? Let's write here gate number of input. Okay. So if we make the table, and here you write standard gate inverter, NAND, and NOR. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, let's say n input is there. So inverter, what is the parasitic delay? 1. These are not possible. 9, this is not possible. So for 9, 2 input, what was the logical effort? 2 parasitic delay. For the 3, it was 3. Similarly for 4, it will be 4. So for n, it is n. And for NOR also, it follows the same relation. So from here, we can say two observations. Logical effort will depend upon this relation, and whereas in the parasitic delay, it is depending upon the number of inputs. Okay. It is not being affected by the, what we say, the size of the inverter, whether it is 4 or 3 or 6, whatever we are taking, it will depend only on the number of inputs. Okay, so that's why it is independent of the sizing, whereas this is depending upon the sizing, because we get here different forms of factor with n. Okay, so these are the two calculations of logical and parasitic effects.